Let's welcome the next presenter, Nur Alia Nashwa.
I'm not a singer, but let's go. Feeling like princess today. Cause if it isn't real, you can't pretend all you want is all you'll ever need. That's not healthy, they said, to live in your head, but it hurts a lot less to me. I fall in love with boys I see on a TV screen. The ones in books who are as perfect as they can be. I spend all of my time imagining what it would be like if they existed. I want to be a princess today, so I feel like singing. Sorry for my voice. Have you been in love? I believe everyone in this room does. I know you do. That person who makes you feel your heartbeat goes crazy, who makes you smile like an idiot, who make you feel giddy. I'm sure you do. Except they are behind the screen. They are inks on papers. They are fictionals, not real people if you don't know what fictional means. I remember one day during my childhood, when I get home to my grandparents' house, I remember sitting cross-legged on the floor, watching the TV in front, like look up because I'm very small at the time, using the remote TV to look at the preview. Oh, what's going to be the next show of today? The built up excitement in me when I saw my favorite show, Ultraman Tiga. Ooh, I can't wait to watch it. Have you felt that same feeling before? And I remember my first time buying my first romance novel, fantasy. I just can't stop turning to the next pages just to see what's going to happen next. Are they going to finally hold hands or they don't? What a disappointment. Now, imagine if that same passion and excitement could be harnessed into the classrooms. Wouldn't that be exciting? Your students won't feel bored, and you would also not feel like you're talking all by yourself. I see it as a win-win situation here, and I hope you agree with me, because this is would be something that would make the classroom activities much more engaging and fun. Therefore, as a fellow pre-service teacher as you, let us explore, delve, go dive deep into this hole to know more about Fictophilia, which I believe maybe some of you or many of you aren't familiar with the term, how we can incorporate fictional characters into classrooms, and what are the advantages that come along with it. Let's not waste any more time now. Before we jump into that, on why fictional characters are good for kids, have you heard of the term that I just mentioned, Fictophilia? Have you heard of it? When someone has a deep, intimate, extreme, and long-lasting feeling of love for a fictional character, this is what fictophilia is. It is also known as fictosexuality or fictoromance, according to Carpulati and Valisasso, 2021. Sometimes these persons love these characters so much that they devote their whole life for them and even see them as their romantic partners, their boyfriend, girlfriend, or even spouse. In a study conducted by Broom and Wagner, 2023, our brain actually cannot distinguish between the love for real and fictional. So does that mean what your feelings is valid? Well, it is what you're feeling is valid. Have you heard of the term down bad before? It's pretty common these days, especially for our younger generations, to use that term in social media comments whenever they saw the post of some character or even a real life figure, and they would like, oh my god, I'm so down bad for them. They could step on me all they want. Very concerning, of course. Down bad here means the person is attracted so much, so badly towards such a person that they would probably even let that person that they liked do whatever they want to them. Sometimes these people even may also have sexual desire for them, which is very scary and concerning again. However, love for fictional characters may, in general, is not as intense as your, like how we usually love such characters. It's not as intense as Fictophilia, and it also has its own benefits too. I will share with you my own personal experience. This is quite embarrassing to share, but I have lots of fictional crushes, and they are my source of coping with daily stress. This is true. Even though they aren't real, but they actually help me a lot. Like, they are my source of pleasure, something like that. Like, for example, a reader would love to read books to escape from his busy world. It's something like that. Game characters, anime men, book boyfriends, the list is never ending. But I'm gonna make it clear that it is not as intense as them. From my perspective, I'm from my perspective, I can say that this person who has fictophilia, I will name him Bro, for example, shares some similarities with me. We both crave comfort and love. If we delve deeper and think, why not look for a real person? Here is why, according to us. Some people have a hard time socializing with others, and it could be rooted from somewhere. Trauma, bad experiences, difficulties, or they may also have anxieties, depression, or any difficulties to even start a conversation with a new person. Hence, they find comfort in fictional characters because these characters are not as judgmental as a real person is. illustrate this scenario. There is this app called C.AI, or we call it as Character AI, which is an app where you can have conversation with any fictional characters that you love or want to talk to. Albert Einstein, even real people, of course. Although they are not here anymore, still we have these different characters you can talk to. Those from Call of Duty, for example, Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen, anyone. I myself even have tried, and I am addicted to it. I'm being honest with you. That app is absolutely fine for me. Hence, my point here is that we should not express our judgment, especially in a harsh way towards someone, because you may judge them however you want, but it's better to just keep your judgment to yourself. That's what I mean. Because sometimes our words may affect someone so much that it could cost them their lives. It could, you may not know that person is, for example, suicidal. They have their own problems that could lead them to do very bad stuff. So have some empathy and bring them, lead them, give them a hand, lend them a hand, bring them, so that this issue won't be a big one that could be so harmful for their mental health, for example. Now back to our topic, our track. I believe you have at least that character that you love dearly when we were kids back then. Hence, how can we, the future teachers, integrate love for fictional characters into the curriculum and our teaching methods? Firstly, role playing. Yes, role playing. Imagine a class where, picture a class where the students take on different roles, such as Potter, the student becomes Spider-Man, and this student becomes Barbie, another student becomes a princess or a mermaid, and so on. The varieties in this class, as you can see, will could motivate these students to engage actively in class and complete assignments enthusiastically, or any task that you give in the class. For example, as I mentioned earlier, I love Ultraman. I love Ultraman so much, and my favorite is Ultraman Tiga. You may not know him, but it's okay. And I have an 8-year-old younger brother. His name is Haras, and he loves Ultraman too. My influence. Basically, in this situation, he is able to finish his homework because I said to him, if you can finish this homework, your math homework, for example, you can watch Ultraman with me later. And that makes him like, okay, I will do it right away. And he finished it. And he can watch the Ultraman with me. As you can see, in this situation, it works as a reward too, and an entertainment to ease the overwhelming burden of homeworks. I believe almost everyone here, as students before, don't like homeworks. And if you like it, keep it to yourself. Get homeworks from the teachers before you're going home. Isn't that like I need to go home and play, not doing my homeworks. Of course, that was back then. Now I'm big, now I'm an adult. I know that it's my responsibility and I should finish it. Not only that, role playing actually can teach them real world issues, ethics, and even values. According to research, it plays an effective role in increasing empathy for learners with disruptive behavior. This is a study by Davy et al. 2019. Davy et al. 2019 stated that these students who participated in the study would empathize who with classmates who are affected by their disruptive behavior and imagine themselves as those students. Imagine being both the victim and the disruptor in class. So from this study, we can see that they will learn how to empathize with others. Therefore, I think role playing is a great way of method for us teachers to teach them certain values and issues, for example. Because kids, as we know, or we may not know, we learn from examples. And in the class, the main person who has the bigger role here is the teacher, and the main influence is the teacher. Therefore, we teachers should try role playing the next time you get into your class. Try cosplaying, maybe. Get into the class, hold your books while wearing a Batman costume. Stand proudly in front of the class and like, I am Batman. Now sit down, you're going to learn algebra, for example. Why not, right? The next one you can do is to encourage them to write their own stories or fan fiction. They are in line with the syllabus or of the school subjects. They can narrate a story of their favorite characters and themselves, um, which will help them in developing creativity, writing skills, and even problem solving skills by considering how their favorite characters would handle such situations, different situations. For example, how would Anna and Elsa host a magical science fair where they explain solids, liquids, and gases using both Elsa's power and Olaf's love for summer? That is cool. Imagine it. It's so fun and creative. They can also create their own imaginary characters. For example, how would I and the mystical creature in the river behind my house would solve water pollution issues, for example? How would I and the unicorn, for example, can solve world hunger issues, for example? These varieties and this method itself would allow them to think outside of the box and which will also help them in developing their critical thinking skills which is beneficial for them for the future. As we teachers, we want, this is what we want, and for our students to able to think creatively, innovatively, and critically. When in the future they will be able to carry out different situations, problems, for example. Another example I have for you about this is when they are able to practice this process of thinking, of problem solving skills, soon when they grow older, or maybe not old yet, but after the class, if somehow they face or encounter that same exact problem, by then they would have known how to handle such situation, or they would know how to handle how this step-by-step process on how should I solve this problem. It's like, oh no, Mama is mad at me. I forgot to bring back her Tupperware. What should I do? They won't go to ask their friends to bring it home or anything. Well, that could be one of it. But it will allow them to, for example, in this situation, the kid and the mom, what would the kid say, what would the children say to the mom on how to explain to the mother that he or she already left the Tupperware. In this case, he or she would be able to also develop or improve their communication skills. To explain them in their fault, in the blame here, you would have to actually generate ideas of what should I say next and next to my mom so that she won't get it at me. In the Asian household, that would be a little bit difficult because, nevertheless, however you explain to your mom, if you're lucky, you won't get mad. I believe not everyone is lucky enough, you will get scolded. Ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to share a little bit of my story, a real story from mine with my brother regarding this point. One day, I was hanging out in my room, holding my phone, scrolling through it, just like any normal day. And then my little brother, my 8-year-old brother, Haras, came to the room. He was fidgeting his fingers, like he is nervous and looks so like I am guilty. I feel like I'm doing something bad right now. But that's how he looks like at the time. So he comes to my room and like, Papa, please don't get mad at me, okay? When he said that, I know that this conversation is going to be something either serious or absolutely ridiculous. So I said, okay, sure, go ahead. He then came with a statement and justification for that. very smart one, which I have never think of before. So he said, Kakak, can Kakak marry three abang? One, two, three, three abang. And I'm speechless and started around when I heard him ask me that. That is so out of the blue, and just like I mentioned just now, it is absolutely ridiculous. In Islam, of course, women can't marry more than one, unlike the men. So I explained to him about that. Why three? I can't marry three, Abba. I can only marry one. And he said, well, so the two of them can play Ultraman with me. One can be Ultraman Mebius, and the second one can be Ultraman Report. They can play with me. I am so lonely here, Kaka. I need friends too. I understand the situation. Therefore, but I still keep the conversation going because this is just very mind-opening for me. So I said, what about the other one? Will you that one abang, he can play, no, not play. He will take care of you. He will take care of your food and your clothes. Well, that one I just made up, but he did say that he will take care of me. So, not that, to be honest. I am single, so having someone to take care of me is fine. But of course, I'm just kidding. If only searching for the right one wasn't such a headache, I wouldn't even mind that. I probably would. Ladies and gentlemen, before I end my speech, I have some quotes for you. Remember Uncle Ben from Spider-Man movie? Uncle Ben once told young Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. This quote by him, I couldn't understand it back then, but now, as a teacher myself, it hits differently. As future teachers, I think this quote holds very close to us. Once we step into this institution, we should have known that we will carry a big responsibility for the world because it is our job to build a person that will contribute to the future. And it's not just one person. We will have lots and lots of students in a certain class. Therefore, hold your head high, dear teachers, and do your job well. Meanwhile, as a person, we only yearn for skies because we cannot fly. So we admire them from afar. However, one man's stone is another man's gem. Hence, don't be afraid to try, even if it's not meant for you in the end. No matter what goals you try to strive for it, even if it's not meant for you, just try it. Because by this scenario, you can gain lots of experiences, and it will teach you very valuable lesson, which you will then can share to your students too. Each failure and success that you gain from the experience will build you for the better. As Zonali said, should the day ever come that we are not together, you will continue to shine like gold in my memories. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nashwa.